What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we are spending some time with the 2025 Maverick. This in particular is the Lobo edition, a little bit more performance-based, believe it or not, even in a little truck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right onto this video. If you are new to my channel, over 24,000 subscribers, thank each and every one of you. So we are going to start with a cinematic, 60 seconds or less, drone footage, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to go ahead and jump on the exterior stats, figures, stuff I feel like you guys would like to know. And then also we will go ahead and jump on the interior, talk through some of that, and then we'll be taking it on a drive. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. Let's roll. Taking a look at some of these stats and figures, this Maverick Lobo is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo pushing 250 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Transmission is a 7-speed auto. Drivetrain is all-wheel drive. Curb weight's coming in at 3,814 pounds, which is going to be pushing it in about in 0 to 60, oh my goodness, which is going to be pushing it in 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. Towing on this particular for the Lobo is 2,000 pounds. MPG, 21 city, 30 highway with a combined average of around 24 MPG. Gas tank size is 16.5 gallons. Now, vehicle dimensions, overall length 16.7 feet. Width is about 6 feet, and ground clearance is 7.4 inches, which is a little bit lowered from the normal Maverick. Pricing starts at around $35,930. That's on the base Lobo. Tester today is roughly $42,345, including the destination charge. Now, as far as some of the differences for the Lobo, one thing is it is obviously lowered, as I already mentioned. It's just a little bit lower. And then the other thing to note is the transmission. It's a 7-speed instead of an 8-speed, so it's got a little bit different of a transmission, making it just a little bit more sporty. And then now, while we're here in the back, just pointing out some of the things you may or may not notice, the one thing that I personally don't love is the license plate. It's off-centered. Not much you can do. Hitch is in the middle, so kind of is what it is, but nonetheless, that's there. You have a 360 camera. You can see one of them is located there for the rear. And then if you come around to the side, you're going to notice that it is on the mirrors as well. And then, of course, there's going to be one on the front, which is located right underneath the emblem. Now, again, back to the Lobo, now that we're in the front, you have a sportier looking exterior. You have the vertical grille, as you can see right there, which looks nice. You have LED lighting, and then these are basically the wheels that come standard with it, but I think it's $100 and that's it. And in my opinion, you can get some better looking wheels than these. Not my thing, but maybe you love them. So totally up to you. And again, that's like a $100 option. Now, taking a look here, you do have keyless entry. It's located here on the front door. Put your hand in there to unlock. And then you can see the locking mechanism right there on top. It is only on the front doors. Now that's pretty much going to cover everything on the exterior. So let's go ahead and jump on into the rear seat. I test every vehicle, whether it's easy or not. I'm 5'9" if you're new to this channel. So go ahead and stepping in, you can kind of see my height. Again, I'm 5'9", a little bit taller than the overall truck. So stepping in, you got to duck just a little bit, but it's not bad. And then these seats actually sit pretty upright, if you will. And as far as headroom goes, you've got a good, I don't know, 5 inches up there, somewhere in there. And then up here for legroom, I would say a good 3 inches. And again, once again, 5'9", so pretty comfortable. I don't really have any complaints there. Wish the seat went back maybe just a smidge, but it's really not bad at all. And then you do have two cup holders located there and a center armrest. And then down here, you've got 2 USB-Cs, and you can see you got basically like a wall outlet type deal. You do have seat back pockets on both seats. And then as far as door material goes, it's soft for your elbow, and then everything else is basically like a plastic. Time to step on into the front. So stepping on in, just like so, and it's pretty easy. Again, you step down in it just a little bit, which is weird in a truck, because usually you're stepping up into it. But it is nice, right? It's a different option. So if it's something that you want, and the other big thing about this truck is it's all-wheel drive. There's not too many all-wheel drive options, right? A lot of them are 4x4, which is rear-wheel drive, but then you select into 4x4 and you can't leave it in that all the time. So an all-wheel drive is nice to have. So that is something that this also does have. Now, let's go ahead and take a look again at the door. This is a soft material for your elbow. Everything else is basically like a plastic. Window switches are nice. They have little bezels, and then you do have power adjustments for your mirrors. And as we are here, the one thing you're going to notice is there is no memory seating, and the driver's seat is power. However, the passenger seat is a manual adjust. And while we're looking at the seat, you can see you've got Lobo in there. You have dual color stitching, a blue and a yellow, which is kind of interesting. And this is the only color interior you can get on the Lobo. So moving on, you have a digital display out in front of you, other than obviously your temp over on the left, and then on the right, your fuel. So to me, it's always a little weird whenever they don't just make the whole thing digital. Kind of is what it is. It's still nice, but just kind of odd. It wouldn't really take anything just to make the whole thing digital. Maybe a future model, we'll see that. You do have lane centering. You have adaptive cruise control. You have all of your volume buttons over here, seek, track, phone. You can go through all your different menus and whatnot. You're also going to notice there are paddle shifters. They are on the small side, but it does have it on the Lobo edition. Coming over here, you have a really nice screen. And as far as touching, I'll just go ahead and touch something just so you can kind of see the responsiveness. We'll go ahead and hit home. And you can see it does a pretty good job. Has a nice little navigation as well. You can have the map. You can have what you're playing over here for music. So that is good. All right, and then located down below, you do have a wireless phone charger, and the start stop is all the way down there. And that is definitely a unique placement. You've got 2 different USBs there. Obviously, pretty standard gear shift here. Had that in my, I think, 2014 Ford Fusion, maybe not 2014, 2016, I don't know. Somewhere in there, early days, they've had that for quite some time. Electronic parking brake, auto stop start. For me, I turn that off almost immediately every single time. Center console, and it is rather deep. So definitely nice to have some storage. And of course, you do have a glove box. Go ahead and open that up, and it's got a good amount of space in there as well. Up above, you can see for your sunroof, you can open it as well. And again, it's nice to have that. I think that's going to cover pretty much everything on the interior of this. Overall, it's really, really nicely done, especially for the price point. So let's go ahead and get it out on the road. As we get this Lobo out on the road, first thing that I noticed, honestly, is it does look more aggressive than obviously the standard Maverick, which makes sense. That's what it should be. Again, for me, I didn't love the wheels, just the very first impression. Maybe a little more aerodynamic or something, but the other wheels that are, again, I think they're $100 literally to get those things are sharp looking. So to me, like if I were to spec it, right, that's definitely what I would put on this truck. But again, that's totally up to you whenever you're getting this vehicle. But that was just my first impression. It does look more aggressive, but I just didn't love the wheels. Now, first impression while driving, this thing has some get up. Like it actually will get up and go for a little truck, especially, again, it's all-wheel drive. Whenever you're around a turn, like if you got to like get out in front of traffic and you hammer on the throttle, like it absolutely rips for a little truck. Now, keep in mind, I've owned a lot of cars, right? Those of you that are new to my channel, I've had a couple of different 2017 Acura NSXs. I've had a few different C8s. That's what I currently have. I had a 600 wheel horsepower C7. I've had a C7 Z06. I've had a couple Audi R8s. So keep in mind, I understand what fast is. So that's the only reason I'm telling you that. And again, comparing apples to apples and what this little truck is, this thing absolutely rips, and it is a riot to actually get on since it's all-wheel drive. It is a unique sensation because, again, there's not too many trucks that are all-wheel drive, right? So you can't just floor it around a turn and just absolutely be good. Like, it's pretty wild. Now let's touch on noise. I have 3 different categories for noise. You have wind noise, you have tire noise, and you have powertrain noise. Powertrain, you basically just hear whenever you're hammering on it, which totally makes sense, totally acceptable. And then as far as your tire noise, it is present, but it's not bad for sure, but it's there. That's probably the loudest thing that you're gonna hear. Wind noise is, again, really refined. A lot of these newer vehicles, wind noise is quite well done by these manufacturers. It's impressive. All right, again, let's hammer on this thing around a turn. Watch this. I mean, this thing just absolutely, like, you just hammer on it and it just sticks to the road. Like, it's crazy how good the all-wheel drive is, honestly. There's no tail kick in. There's hardly any tire spin. It's impressive. Now, also keep in mind, this is a truck that you're getting really good MPGs for a truck, right? On the highway, you can get around 30 MPGs. Like, this truck would be super useful, like, if you own a pool business, right? Like, if you're just got little stuff and you need a bed, maybe you own a painting company, right? So you still have a bed, but you're going in between job sites, all that kind of stuff. Still good on gas mileage, definitely still fun. And yeah, there's a lot of use cases for this truck, and it's pretty well done. Now, let's touch on suspension. We're coming up to the cattle guard. We do it every week for noise and suspension. So here we go. So suspension, this is a sportier truck. It is definitely on the stiffer side. I jump up a little bit more, but obviously it maintains quickly. That's basically what a sport suspension does, and that's exactly what this is doing. So that's a good thing. As far as noise goes, right down average, middle. I mean, that's what I would expect for this vehicle. Now, as far as the safety items or technology, the lane centering works quite well. It is lane centering. It keeps you center of the lane. Obviously, keep your hands on the wheel. You guys know the deal, but it does work. Now, adaptive cruise control, also no issues, works quite well. And it's definitely nice to have those features, especially if you're going on a road trip. Doesn't seem like much, but it definitely does add to the convenience, which that's basically what it is, safety and convenience feature. Let's go ahead and touch on blind spots. Over to my left, the pillar is rather thick, but it's far enough forward that it's not bad at all. Over to my right, the back pillar, maybe just a little bit because it is thicker, but really at that point, you probably see the car in your mirror. And of course, it is equipped with blind spot monitoring if you were to need it. One more time on the noise control, whether you're on the freeway or you are just around town, I've tested both and it is still very, very maintained. Again, to me, the noisiest part is the tires, and it doesn't change much from freeway to even around town, which is good because a lot of times when you get on the freeway, it gets a little bit more noisy, and that's not the case. The one thing I haven't had the opportunity to do is drive this little truck in the wind, like high winds. And that does happen, obviously, depending on where you live. And sometimes smaller vehicles, they kind of feel like they're floating just a little bit. So I can't speak on that, whether this is a, you know, really, really good in high winds or not. I just can't speak on it. So not going to talk on that. And again, if you're driving this, you know, or you test drive it and it's super windy and you're like, oh, what are you talking about? It does have wind noise. Almost any vehicle is going to have that. So just keep in mind your conditions and where you're driving whenever, you know, you're looking at that. For me, I drive these vehicles same route every single week. So I'm comparing basically apples to apples and not different environments, if you will. So just wanted to touch on that quickly. Now for the seats, I think they're comfortable. I don't have any complaints. There's really not much bolstering, which is a good thing, in my opinion, for a truck. Even though it's a sportier truck, you don't want much bolstering. So that way you can, you know, be even bigger than me and still be comfortable, and you absolutely can in this truck. They definitely have enough gush to them. The only thing that I would change are two things. One, the passenger seat. I wish there was an option to get that for power adjust versus being manual adjust. And then two would be optional cooled ventilated seats. Now, you'd be like, go to the Lariat. Even the Lariat does not offer ventilated / cooled seats, at least up to this point for 2025. So that would be definitely something nice in the future. Even if you can't get it on the Lobo, I feel like you still should, because some people just want the performance based. But like even right now, like it's 87 degrees and it's only, I don't know, 8:30 a.m. It's supposed to be like 110 today here in Phoenix. My back's already sweating to this seat. It's just what it is. So cooled seats are nice if you live in a hot environment. So maybe in the future we'll see that. Past that, I think this truck has just about everything I would want. What else? I guess I would also take memory seating. That would be the only other thing that I would really like on this truck, and it doesn't offer it. Now, on the Lariat, maybe I have not done my homework on the Lariats for that particular feature, but at least on the Lobo, it is not an option for 2025. All right, let's go ahead and punch it. Let's do a little performance base here as a last little thing. I mean, this thing absolutely rips. And then let's test the brakes. Yeah, very good on the brakes. Very, very good. And then just coming in, as far as suspension, I mean, this thing drives literally like a small SUV, almost a sedan. Like, it is quite impressive for a small truck. You could have some fun with this thing, no doubt. You can also absolutely daily this vehicle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's review. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. I do it every week, every manufacturer, so that way it's fair across the board. And once again, over 24,000 subscribers. Thank you each and every one of you. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.